For joining us. If you want to, we'll just go ahead and turn it over to you right now, okay?
Okay, fantastic. Well, good and bad. It's great to get back out on the field. Great to have the guys back out running around. We were in helmets today. About an hour and a half practice, and it was very, very obvious how much conditioning we've lost in the 12 days that we were off. I think it's a great reminder to the kids just how hard it is to get in the shape that you need to be in order to play at a real high level. But the good thing is I thought a lot of guys pushed through. It was not pretty at times. It was pretty ugly at times. But guys pushed through, and we are where we are. We got 25 days before Central Florida. We've got to push ourselves as hard as we can right now to try to get in some semblance of game shape and try to get to where we can play a football game. I heard stories from the FCS game Saturday night. Said it was pretty bad at halftime with the teams in the locker room. Dehydration, cramping, and all that. I think we're all going to have a really difficult time early in the season this year with our conditioning after missing so much time, and that's the challenging thing with this. Nobody's around when we're doing all that training in the winter and spring and summer, but all that training is what allows guys to play at an elite level, at a high level. And, certainly right now we're missing that. And so we've got to make up for it as best we can.
Coach, Holton finds himself on the Manning Award watch list. Can you bring us up to date on his progress as of today?
Thought he had a solid day today. Dealt with a little bit of a stomach bug over the weekend. And so, had to, he was under the weather for a few days, but came out and threw the ball around pretty good today. Had a couple of nice runs. So, excited about his progress. He's our starting quarterback, and I'm glad we got him.
Coach, can you give us an idea of what the ramp up will be this week? When will you guys be in full pads? And do you yourself scrimmaging next weekend and not this coming weekend, obviously?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're looking at. I told the kids I didn't think we were ready. I talked about your practice. I didn't think we were ready for full pads tomorrow. So we'll progress to a shells practice tomorrow, probably about the same length, and really challenge them to, we've got to push through right now. It's like anything else. All of us have been through it. You sit around, don't do nothing for a month, and then you come back and start working out and training again, whether you're a marathon runner or just a weekend Joe or you're a college football player. Those first couple of days are painful and it hurts. And we've got to push through this little phase right here to get kind of back on track.
As far as the logistics of returning, and obviously, the last week or so here, I know you can't name names and that stuff, but do you have a number of guys that are still out and can't practice as far as still in quarantine today?
Yeah, we got 23 that are still in quarantine. Some of them are positive, some of them are quarantined because of contact tracing. And then we've probably got another 10 or so that are in return to play. And return to play takes longer than you think. I mean, it's about a 7-day deal of just kind of slowly easing back with the athletic training staff, and then they'll give them to us for practice, and then you can't just throw them out there 100 miles an hour the first day after being off that long. So it's when you're in quarantine or you're you test positive, it's going to put you out for a while. Everybody thinks it's just 10 days or 14 days. It's not.
Hi, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
My name's Emily. I work at the Washington Post. I was curious if you could just explain the daily setup you guys have now that classes are online and you've got practices back, and how much contact your players are coming in touch with the outside world, and if it's at all bubble-ish on campus there.
Well, we have study hall throughout most of the day. It is a socially distanced but a supervised study hall. So that's what a lot of their morning and around lunchtime of the day is. Obviously, their classes are online classes. Some of those, if we have an at-risk kid or a freshman, they may be doing their online class in a study hall area, like a quiet room or something, to where they've got a little bit of just a kind of a quiet surrounding to really focus and concentrate. we get them about 2:30 in the afternoon, and we have them till about right now. We talk to them about, wearing a mask, social distancing, following the protocols of sanitation, avoiding groups. And I've just impressed upon them just how important it is right now. If we were to have a kid that tested positive right now, I doubt he would be available for the UCF game. So it's just so critical that they follow those protocols. Now, are they completely avoiding the outside world? I hope that they're being as cautious as we're asking them to be when they leave us. But they're just like the rest of us. It's kind of a personal decision as to how you handle yourself when you get away from the facility.
As a coach, do you feel, I know the decision was made at the university level, but to have students not around as much, does that make you feel more comfortable about how well you'll be able to manage things this season?
I'm pretty sure that about 75% of our student body is in Greenville, North Carolina. So I don't know, how much away they are from the student body. And that's why it's so important that at these apartment complexes and, and everything that, they're just being very, very safe.
When you talked earlier about some of the challenges and conditioning, did you have any moments or any examples at all of players leadership-wise? You talked about Holton, obviously, but the guys picking each other up. Is there any players that stood out today with that?
Yeah, I mean, we finished practice with a deal that we call 4 quarters, which it's a flat conditioning deal, and it's a series of gassers, and it is very challenging. And today I knew it would be difficult, and I told a couple of kids at the end, I was like, listen, if you can't push yourself right here to finish, then you've got to remove yourself. But just understand that, you've got to be ready to play in 25 days. I was really proud of our kids because a couple of the freshmen, I'm telling you, I could see it in their eyes. They were getting ready to tap out. And, if it was a normal year, I mean, you'd be on them pretty hard. But, just in the situation we're in right now, you got to kind of understand, everybody's got to know their body right now. But I was very proud of the encouragement from upperclassmen, and everybody finished the 4-quarter drill. And, it was hard. Those big guys, it's hard for them. But I was really pleased with the leadership there. I thought we had some great leadership from some of our older skill kids, just in the way they attacked the drill, and really kind of set the tone for, listen, if you want to run with me, you're going to have to push yourself. And so I thought there was so many positives from that respect at the end of practice. Could we play a game right now? No, I doubt we could play a quarter right now. But nobody tapped out. Nobody just laid down and quit. And I knew it was going to be hard after a 2-week layoff.
Coach,
there was a headline today that Central Florida had like 10 players opt out, and I have not seen anything where that's been a factor as far as East Carolina is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, every school and every program is kind of dealing with what they deal with in their locker room. And I've said it many times, and I doesn't mean that somebody won't do that here at East Carolina, but I do feel like, all the players, they're on board with our staff. They're on board with each other. They have a positive attitude. I feel like the character of our roster is improved. We're young, but we also have, I think, with the older kids we have a lot more strong leadership there, from those few, the Xavier Smiths, the Holt Nailers, the Deontay Smith, Warren Saba, those guys, Miles Berry, Bruce, Fernando Fry, those guys are doing just a good job of kind of keeping everybody in a positive frame, positive mindset.
Coach, you said they were disappointed when you made the announcement 10 days ago about having to suspend football workouts, and it seemed like, although the conditioning may not have been there, that the will was there to work and get through. Yeah,
but a lot of people have the will to do a lot of things. I mean, I wished I could run a 5-minute mile. It doesn't matter how much will I got. We're going to have to push through stuff right now. It's going to be difficult. So we're going to stack days upon top of days. And the thing is, tomorrow we got 24 days till Central Florida. We don't have a whole lot of time. So this is going to be an important 2 weeks right now.
Hey, Coach, JB Ricks here from Spectrum News 1. Thank you so much for taking out this time. I want to go back to your comment in regards to the 14-day layoff that they recommend or whatever if you are contracted with a positive case. And you said it's going to be longer than that. It's going to be up to maybe 25 days or whatnot. Is there a contingency plan that the coaches can put together, if any, if you guys come across that problem in the middle of the season?
Well, the thing we're trying to do is generate as much depth as possible. It's the contact tracing, keeps them out for 14 days. If they don't show any symptoms and don't test positive during that 14 days, then those kids can come back day 15. But those kids have lost their conditioning. A kid that tests positive, he's out for at least 10 days, possibly longer. And then he has the return to play protocol. And then, he's got to, health-wise, he's got to get to where he can practice again. So those guys have a longer time. Your depth is what it is. We're trying to get kids ready that would normally redshirt this year. So I do think the rule with not burning a year of eligibility is a good rule. I do think you're going to see this be a major issue in our sport. Especially, like Central Florida. I mean, early in the year, those 10 kids may not hurt them a whole lot, but I could see getting down the stretch during the year, if they were to have a big outbreak, that lack of depth is going to crush them. So this is going to be something where we're going to prepare as best we can. We're trying to get as many kids ready to play as we can. But it's something it's going to be a factor.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, yesterday you guys had the Unity Walk. Can you talk about how that was a positive experience for the team from a team building standpoint, character standpoint?
To see the way that our young men have handled themselves through a lot of the stuff that's going on nationally, and to stand there and listen to Xavier Smith and Justin Chase and so many of those other guys that were standing up there talking in front of a large crowd and really talking from their heart, and talking about how they felt. That's the one thing I hope everybody saw. I was very proud of them. I was proud of the way they handled themselves. We had an individual who, kind of attacked our group. The verbal abuse was extreme. It was something that's hard for me to stand there and watch, and I hung back to make sure that there wasn't anything that happened beyond that. I was proud of the way our young men conducted themselves in a first-class manner. It's what I expect from them, but I was very proud of them. So, the thing that I hope that comes of all this is I hope that they can be something that Pirate Nation, Greenville, North Carolina, I hope that everyone can rally around the stand that they're taking and what they're asking. And all it is, they're asking for human decency. Just asking for, everyone needs to be treated with the same equality. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what situation you're talking about. And, that has not been the case in our country. And so I was very, very proud of our young men yesterday.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach, we haven't had a chance to ask about the eligibility deal since that was passed a couple weeks ago. How does that maybe change, at least in the short term? I know it has a lot of long-term ramifications, but the short term this season.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things everybody says, what's a good thing? I don't know if John Gilbert's thinking that right now. It's going to be a deal where we're going to be over the 85 cap. We're going to go from, last year, I think we were at 72 or 73 scholarships. Now next year, we're going to be over 85. I think that everything happening, certainly our country and college football and everybody, this is just unimaginable what we're going through. But when you look at it from the state of how young our roster is, but also, in my opinion, what tremendous upside so many of these guys have, it is going to be something really, really exciting to have an extra year of eligibility, to be able to grow these young D linemen up, to be able to grow, these young backs up, these young DBs and develop them and still have your solid returning older players there with them. I think we have a chance over the next couple of years to build the roster that we need to be the program that everybody wants here.
You were talking about everything going on in the country right now and the protest yesterday. With all of that going on, how much more important or impactful do you feel it is to have Marcus Anderson in that character coach position right now?
Well, Marcus has been with me for several years. He was with us at James Madison in the same role. And anyone that's ever met him understands just what a special person he is. He has a dynamic presence. He has a counseling background. He also has a background as a minister. He loves young people. He loves people in general. He's someone that I lean on. He's someone that our student athletes gravitate to. It's just so important to have him there because he's someone that the kids trust. They can talk to about, not just this issue, but lots of issues. And he's going to take a vested interest in their life and really try to help them and deal with each kid individually. And so I think him as our character coach is something that I think is not only essential, but it's got to be a corner piece of our program. And so many programs have this individual. We're fortunate to have Marcus.
Coach, with the governor moving North Carolina into phase 2.5 today, obviously that doesn't go into effect till Friday, but how will that affect practices moving forward?
I don't know. What's phase 2.5?
Basically up the limit for people outside to 50. Okay.
Well, it'll make practice a little bit easier. That's the thing is, just like, I don't know what that is. We've got to look at what that means for us for practice. We've got to look at what that means for us. Does that mean we can meet a little bit easier now? What does it mean for our stadium on game day? We've just got to see what the interpretation is, through our local officials, and see how that how we can adjust after that.
You sent out the tweet earlier today. Props for the Earth, Wind, and Fire. Were you emotional? Were you excited and dancing when you sent that? How was that feeling?
Always one of my favorite all-time songs. You give me "Don't Stop Believing," "Living on a Prayer," "September." Those are that's kind of my genre right there. But it is September 1st. We've got a ball game at the end of the month. We got to practice today. This is what we do. I'm a football coach. They came here to play football. I get to be around these young people. It's an exciting day. I like having a positive vibe. I came into the team meeting this afternoon playing that song, and the kids are kind of dancing around, and I'm fortunate to be sitting in this chair and to have this job, and I love every day.
Are there any other questions for Coach Houston? Okay. Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Sure thing. Glad to be back with you guys. Have a great evening.
Coach.
Go Pirates.